T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
That's T.A.G shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
Oh my goodness, do not avert your eyes. I know. It's been 3 weeks since I've been on camera and a week since I delivered another episode of that NXT.A.G. Your boy is here. Your boy is back. Let's get into it because tonight was a good episode. Because remember, we are on that road to Vengeance Day, and this episode showed one, why I love NXT so much, why I feel like it's so exciting to watch, and overall, this was a good episode, people. This was some good stuff. This was some good stuff. But we about to get into it though. So the show opens up with JC Jane and Fatal Influence versus Stephanie Vaquer. So at Vengeance Day, it's going to be official that we're going to get Stephanie Vaquer versus Fallon Henley for the Women's North American Championship. But you know how it plays out. You got to pick off the other members of the faction first to, make your point. And this what this was. Stephanie's coming off of her debut in the Royal Rumble as well this past weekend. And she's coming in a house of fire, as they'll say in the business. And a pretty solid match. More and more, that's going to show that she is definitely Stephanie Vaquer, that is a prospect that they really going to work with. Between her, Julia, and a few others, they're definitely going to work with these ladies, and do not be surprised that either later this year or possibly 2026, Stephanie and Julia are going to be main roster bound. Raw or SmackDown, I don't know, but they will be main roster bound. And pretty solid match. Fatal Influence tried to get their little sneakiness in there, but nah. It wasn't going to work because Stephanie had a mission. The Dark Angel was like, I am steamrolling this whole faction so I can get that Women's North American title up off Fallon Henley. Stephanie Vaquer gets the W, and there you go. Next up, we get a segment of the Meta Girlies, Jakara and Lash. Lash is coming off of her Royal Rumble debut as well. And they were confronted mainly more by Zarya, but it was Zarya and Soul. And they were basically talking about how they came up short against Bianca and Naomi last week, and Lash came up short in the Rumble. And Lash was like, wait a damn minute. At least I was in it. Y'all was you were sitting at home watching me on the Rumble. Jakara and I were the ones trying to get them belts. And Zarya like, yeah, but if it was Soul and I, we would have won. And So it's starting to seem like slowly but surely Zarya is going to go full heel. And she's going to betray Soul at some point. And then boom. I can 1000% see it. It's almost feels like the writing is on the wall that is going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. Book it, as they would say. Book it. Then next up, we get. Oh, sorry. And then Chemical X is what they were calling themselves online. I don't know if they got the name approved to officially call themselves Chemical X, and that's the team of. That's who I was referring to as the Misfits. The team of Tatum, Gigi, and Shotzi. So they were wearing shirts called Chemical X. So maybe if they get it approved, they may be called Chemical X. But until then, I'm going to still stick with the Misfits. So Zarya and Soul will be taking on the Misfits later on in the night. Then we get an interview with Oba, and Oba is basically saying that, hey, I don't care that I got to fight Grayson and Theory in a triple threat match at Vengeance Day. I'm going to show why I'm the ruler. And tonight, I'm going to show why I'm the ruler in this tag team match. And in essence, Trick better do his part. Then we get Lexus King coming out there. He's fully embracing the fact that he's a heel, that he was tired of doing things the right way, that, and, kind of almost in essence embracing the fact that he is his father's son, that, his father was a loose cannon, and, I'm going to embrace it. Though I didn't get a chance to know my dad like that, but I'm going to embrace the fact that I'm the son of the loose cannon and things of that nature. Then he was like, now as Heritage Cup champion, I'm going to redo the rules to this cup, and so that way they fit me. So as long as Lexus King is Heritage Cup champion, there'll be no more cornermen, there'll be no more rounds. It's one fall to a finish. So seems like it's gonna bring a little excitement, because it will be interesting if they do something like that with the Heritage Cup going forward, that whoever wins that cup gets to, in essence, set the rules to how they want the cup to be defended. So that'll be an interesting aspect going forward with that Heritage Cup. And as he was talking, we hear a familiar music that we hadn't heard in a long time, and we hear that dun, 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 dun. We hear the music of Fandango. He comes out, he thanks the crowd, but he's letting them know that he is part of the system and he is TNA superstar JDC, but he does appreciate the love that he got, especially with them hitting that music. And he challenges King to a match next week. So next week we will get a match between JDC and Lexus King for the Heritage Cup Championship. Then we get a match between Ridge Holland and Stax Lorenzo. That stemmed from last week when Stax and Ridge had a little back and forth, and it was like, well, fine then. Stax, you big and bad. Let's do this. Then you still have the aspect of Izzy Dame still kind of lingering around. It's not necessarily saying she's a member of the D'Angelo family, but I think there's something more sinister at play. And it came into play later on in the night, and I'll get to that when going through the show. But Izzy tried to interfere to help Stax win. It ended up backfiring. Ridge hits the Redeemer. 1, 2, 3. Ridge gets the dub. In the Raptors, watching down on them, you had Spears' team of course, Spears, Brooks, and Nico. So interesting development. But like I said, more on that later. Then we get a backstage back and forth between Fraxium and Briggs and Inamura. And Briggs and Inamura are basically like, hey, y'all ducking us, big dog. Y'all ducking us. Like, what's up? Like, we trying to get these belts. We trying to get this opportunity. And it seems like y'all want to defend these belts against everybody else but us. And Fraxium was like, who y'all beat, though? Y'all want to get in our face about a tag team title shot, but who did y'all two beat? Nobody? Okay, then. So how about this? Y'all figure out who y'all want to beat. And if y'all win, then maybe y'all get the shot. Well, I'll go ahead and fast forward what happened with that. Briggs found Hank and Tank to fight, and it was revealed that Inamura found oh my God, who did Inamura say? Oh my goodness, I forgot who Inamura said. And then, of course, it led to Fraxium was like, see, they don't even know who. Then Ava made the match between Briggs and Inamura versus Hank and Tank versus NQCC. So Miles and Tavian, and the winner most likely will be the number one contender. Then we finally get the tag team match of Soul, Ruka, and Zarya versus Chemical X. Pretty solid match. I was surprised with the winner. I was surprised. Zarya and Soul winded up with the dub. If I remember correctly, they won clean. Soul eventually hitting us up. Or did somebody interfere? But I feel like they won clean because Soul did hit the Soul Snatcher on Gigi, and because it was Gigi and Tatum, while Shotzi stayed out, and Soul eventually hit the Soul Snatcher on Zarya, and they get the dub. But I feel like because even with the entrance, it seemed very kind of fragile with Soul and Zarya, and I think it's going to be one of them things to where they may do like how Ridge was with Chase U, that if they lose a match, they may be kind of like a number one contenders match for the women's tag titles or something of that nature. I can see Zarya just being like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you. I'm over you. Blow. Betrayal. So betrayal. Next up, Trick was having an interview, and Trick was basically saying that he's going to go out there and prove why he deserves to be the number one contender and all of these things, and he's going to prove it tonight by beating Waller and Theory and things of that nature. You know, Trick wants his belt back. He wants his belt back. Then we get the somewhat women's town hall, because at Vengeance Day we are getting a women's triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship between Bayley, Julia, and Roxanne. Bayley comes out there first. Before Bayley can speak, Roxanne comes out, and was like, look, I was in the Rumble. I outdid your record. You know, you and I, we can do this. And, you know, I'm realizing that I want to be triple champ. I want to win this belt at Vengeance Day. Then I want to go to Raw, win that championship. Then I want to go to SmackDown and win that championship. And maybe, if only maybe, if I decide to relinquish the NXT Women's Championship, then maybe Cora Jade can finally win the championship. And it was like, oh shit, she taking shots. And I know it stemmed from last week as well, but it's like, oh, she taking shots. Okay. Then eventually Julia comes out, and Julia was like, enough of all this jibber jabber bull jive. You know, I'm trying to keep it PG enough. Y'all all gonna fall to the beautiful madness Conventions Day. So all of this is unnecessary. Then, just like she said last night, the queen, Charlotte Flair, comes out and she was like, look here, I remember last time I won the Rumble, I chose the NXT Women's Champion, and that's how I became 2-time NXT Women's Champion. So, Julia, you know what I'm saying? I might come snatch that up off you. And pretty much that's kind of where it led, you know, some pull aparts coming down. Oh, sorry. It led with Cora Jade coming out there swinging that kendo stick, and she laid out Bayley and Julia. She tried to swing at Roxanne. Roxanne got out. Then she started beating down Bayley, which led to later on Bayley going back there and was like, hey, I want that witch in a match next week. And Abel was like, don't you have a match for the chamber qualifier? She was like, I don't care. You could make me fight her anytime. Hell, you could throw her in the match to make it a fatal 4-way. I want Cora Jade. So next week on NXT, we will get Bayley versus Cora Jade. We get a backstage little segment with Ethan and Javon, and essentially it led to Ethan and Javon will have a match at Vengeance Day if Javon can be cleared in time. That is the caveat. Javon has to get cleared in time to have his match at Vengeance Day. And that was pretty much that segment. Circling it back to where I was, Izzy was with the D'Angelo family, and Ridge walks up and was like, hey, I beat your boy. It's going to show that if you give me a fair shake at this championship, I got you, Tony, because if it wasn't for Izzy, I would have been champ. Of course, Spears, Nico, and Jensen are just watching in the wings, and Izzy was like, well, why don't y'all settle it in a steel cage match? It's very oppish of you, Izzy. It's very oppish of you, Izzy. I think you're setting up Tony. I think you're setting up to the family. It's very oppish of you, Izzy, for you to just be like, settle it in a cage match. It's very oppish. Very oppish. So next week on NXT on Vengeance Day Eve, we will get Ridge versus Tony D, North American Championship, steel cage. Then we get to a one-on-one contest between Carmen and Kalani. That stemmed from last week when apparently, the whole everybody's telling Carmen that she shouldn't get with Ashante and this and the third. And this was a standard match. It's still not believable that they're trying to make Kalani this bad girl. And they're trying to make her this bad girl by the way of, I'm getting tired of people telling me what to do. I'm getting tired of people trying to little sis me. I'm a grown woman. I was the first women's North American champion, but I'm still getting little sis to everybody. And I'm getting tired. So she won the match by submission because Jada Parker comes out there and Jada is kind of like antagonizing. And she was on commentary with Corey Booker and Vic, and she's kind of antagonizing, and Kalani uses a submission to tap out Carmen, and when she keeps looking at Jada, she keeps reapplying the submission, so the ref was like, I'm reversing the decision. So Carmen gets the dub. And it's funny that it really is funny that they're trying to make Kalani this bad girl because she doesn't come off as that, and she's doing the best she can. Like she's really trying, but it really just doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's the look. Maybe she has to change her look up, or maybe the outfit or whatever. But it's not coming off that I'm a grown woman, I'm this bad girl, that y'all should respect me. It's like, I don't know. But that's me. That's me. Thoughts and opinions belong to Scooter. Hashtag justice for Scooter. So that was that. And main event time, Oba and Trick versus A-Town Down Under. Pretty standard little tag team match. It's interesting because, of course, Oba and Trick, well, let me rewind. Before the match started, A-Town Down Under was having a little talking session, and Theory was like, yeah, because at the end of the day, at the Vengeance Day, I'm going to finally become NXT champion. And Theory was like, oh, you gonna be NXT champion? And Theory was like, well, how about I become NXT champion like that? So they was kind of having a little heat for each other, and then the match happens. So it was a pretty standard tag match. It's just the fact that you had those combustible elements of Oba and Trick. So at times they was kind of trying to outdo each other and trying to, I'm the dominant one. No, I'm the dominant one. While you still have A-Town Down Under kind of working as a team. But due to the interference of Eddie Thorpe and his strap, more on that in a moment, A-Town Down Under gets the dub because they pinned Trick. And then it was like, well, where does that leave Trick's championship aspects? We don't know because A-Town Down Under got the out the ring, and then Eddie Thorpe gets in there with his strap and starts just whooping Trick. All on Black History Month too. Yeah, I said it. I took it there. But yeah, so pretty sure on Vengeance Day they're gonna set up a strap match between Thorpe and Trick. But next week being the final pit stop before Vengeance Day, we got Bayley versus Cora, Ridge versus Tony D in a cage, Lexus versus JDC for the Heritage Cup. So we got some pretty interesting things happening. Oh, in the triple threat tag team match with Inamura and Briggs versus NQCC versus Hank and Tank for #1 contendership. So we got a pretty good show shaping up next Tuesday before we get to Vengeance Day. And then Vengeance Day itself, we got for the NXT Men's Championship, Oba defending against Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller. For the NXT Women's Championship, Julia defending against Bayley and against Roxanne Perez. We got Fallon versus Stephanie Vercour for the Women's North American Championship. And we have Javon versus Ethan Page, if Javon can be cleared. And like I said, most likely the fifth match is probably going to be Thorpe versus Trick in a strap match. Then the show goes off the air with the whole static image of Vengeance Day, and then they show a group of 4 men. And it looks like they're kind of doing like some type of hijacking takeover type thing. So I guess we'll be introduced to these 4 individuals come Vengeance Day, because they keep advertising Vengeance Day, but this time they actually showed silhouettes and images of them. Upon look, they don't look familiar, because it was just like you see them in a silhouette and everything, but are they kind of really shadowed out? But I'm pretty sure somebody on the internet is probably like, oh, that's blah, 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 so Vengeance Day. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode of NXT. Next week's episode seems like it's going to be a banger. Then, of course, Vengeance Day. Your boy is ready for Vengeance Day. But yeah, whether you loved it or hated it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably thumbs up. Like, share, comment, subscribe. After you subscribe, you have to tag that notification bell so you can be notified for different videos. The NXT.A.G, tier list, hot tag me in, anything of that nature that gets posted on the channel. You got to be notified. In order to be notified, you have to tag that notification bell, but then you also have to tag the subscribe button so that way we can welcome you into the Tag Nation, into this tag family. Shout out to Lib Dizzle, current tag in the bank and current predictions champion. Shout outs to the tag rumble winner Juggernaut 097, who will get his shot in Tag Mania. Shout outs to the Heartthrob Jaeger Bombastic, and of course you got me, ScooterRay, aka #Justice for Scoot. If you've been watching the shorts on the channel, you will know why #Justice for Scoot. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, love one another, love yourself, take care of each other, love each other. And until then, I'm going to hit y'all with this too sweet. But do not forget to tag out. Bow. Peace. #Justice for Scoot.